What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, I got an update on the story I've been covering since last week when it happened, last Wednesday to be exact, involving this woman right here. May she rest in peace. This woman is Alicia Michelle Strambler, age 34. Ladies and gentlemen, out here in Houston, Texas, where this occurred at, this woman was beat to death in a hotel room by her husband, Myron Lynn Strambler, age 36. This guy was arrested on scene by officers that described the scene as, horrific. When they arrived on the scene, he was standing out on the balcony, covered in blood, directed the people to the where his wife was at, dead on the bathroom floor. Since this has happened, I've covered this story and I spoke, a lot about domestic violence and people, in positions where they either stay around, to avoid embarrassment or shame, or, they try to get away and can't. This is one of those stories. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy appeared in court today, and his family spoke at the family of the victim, Alicia, spoke at a visual the night before. So I'm gonna show you both of them. The family said some telling things in this. I want you guys to pay attention, man. If you got a chance to get away from somebody that you see is not right, by all means try, because this whole story, man, is totally messed up. Take a look.
A convicted sex offender is set to be in court today. He is now accused of beating his wife to death inside a motel in North Houston the day before Thanksgiving. His bond is set at $250,000.
Kathy Hernandez is live outside of the county courthouse hearing from the family about the challenges that their daughter was facing. So, Kathy, take us back to the night before Thanksgiving. What exactly happened?
Good morning to you, Haley and Amy. Police say Myron Strambler beat his wife to death. Her name is Alicia. They say it happened inside a hotel room at a motel on Airline, and that was at 6 o'clock Wednesday night, just before Thanksgiving. They say he then called police, and when they showed up, they found him standing on a balcony with blood on his shirt. That's when they went inside the motel room and found Alicia dead. All right, well, talk to us a little bit about what you've been able to uncover looking through some of those court documents. Any information about Myron Strambler, his past, how long they had been together? What can you tell us about that? Well, good morning. Yes, he was convicted of felony sexual assault back in 2009. He has a long criminal history and a long criminal domestic violence history with the victim. Back in 2020, he was charged with domestic violence, but in that case, Alicia actually asked the judge to dismiss the case, and then the following year, he was also charged with domestic violence, and in that case as well, Alicia got a restraining order. That bond was set at $2,500. A judge then granted her that restraining order, but he was actually in violation of the restraining order after he texted her some very violent messages, some threatening messages there. That's when he was sentenced to 3 days in jail and community service.
Wow. What's the family of the victim saying now, Kathy?
They are just heartbroken. Alicia was a daughter. She had 3 small children. They say the system failed her. There was a vigil, a candlelight vigil on Saturday night outside the motel, and this is what they had to say. Let's take a listen.
The sadness of just losing our daughter hurts enough, but to know that if the word doesn't get out there and this judicial system doesn't wisen up and quit setting these low bonds for murderers, we're going to be seeing this all the time.
That's absolutely right.
We're going to be seeing this all the time. We're doing this to try to save lives, and she didn't deserve it.
So heartbreaking for that family. They say their daughter tried to get away, but she was too scared. They say she even received counseling through the bridge and was getting help, but she was scared to get away from him. So, of course, he remains in jail this morning on a $250,000 bond. They say they are going to fight to keep him behind bars. He will see a judge at 9 o'clock this morning. Amy Haley, back to you.
Harris County judge raises the bond for a man accused of beating the mother of his children to death. 36-year-old Myron Strambler, who was arrested last Thursday, is now being held on a $300,000 bond.
Yeah, and the family of the victim, Alicia Strambler, telling us that they're scared of what could happen if Strambler gets out. Our Stephen Goen joins us now live from outside the criminal courthouse with more details on this truly awful story. Stephen.
Sherman, today we did speak to the family of the deceased, and they say while they are grateful the judge raised that bond, they feel the justice system ultimately failed Alicia, and they hope it does not happen again. In court, 36-year-old Myron Strambler just steps away from the family of Alicia Strambler, the mother of his children, who he's accused of beating to death.
He took her with his bare hands like a monster. He doesn't need bond.
Today, in his initial appearance, a judge raising Myron's bond from $250,000 to $300,000, though Alicia's sisters tell us they had hoped for a different outcome.
She needs justice. He needs to not get out. There's no stopping him. If he gets out, it will happen again, as it did before. That's why we're here today.
This past Wednesday, Alicia was found dead inside a room at the Moonlight Inn. Houston officers who responded say they found Myron on a balcony with blood on his shirt.
She was filing for divorce a week before this, so he knew what he was doing.
Alicia's family says they knew about her troubled relationship, and they believe she was in the process of leaving when she died.
I have all the texts. He would not leave her alone. She tried and tried and tried. He just wouldn't let her go.
These sisters now praying their loved one's accused killer remains behind bars. Meanwhile, they say they want her memory to help others who find themselves dealing with abuse.
That person that is hurting you should not be hurting you. He's supposed to be loving you, or she's supposed to be loving you, not terrifying you, not making you afraid for your life.
Now, as of today, Myron Strambler is still in jail on that $300,000 bond. He's due back in court later on this week. This is a developing story, and we will be keeping our eyes on it. Back to you.
The mother of Alicia Strambler. Hey, if lawmakers don't wisen up and start, raising these bonds, they shouldn't have no damn bond. And that's the thing. They're charging this guy with murder of his wife. Don't know why they was in the hotel room. Don't even care at this point. All we know is this dude beat a woman to death that he claimed he loved. Said they seen on the, from a past, 2021, assault on a family member. He was charged. We had said that in the last video. It happened to be her. So this guy was a sex offender. Served 4 years in prison for sexual child abuse. I ain't never heard of that. Either way, man, she with this dude. Tried to get away from him. Said that she went and filed for divorce a week before. And it seemed like it's always like that. These dudes that run around here and call themselves men a lot of times ain't nothing but boys. How long do you think somebody gonna take getting punched in the face or kicked up the ass before they say, okay, enough is enough? And then all of a sudden, here you come bothering them. They do all the necessary things they gotta do to get away from you as far as, getting a divorce and all this other stuff, but you just can't let it go. And I think a lot of times just putting your hands on these women out here a lot of times with these immature men is because they can't let things go. It's nobody else's fault that you can't get things together in your own head and reason with yourself that you got a problem, but you make everybody else's, your problem everybody else's in the form of hands and feet. Had 2 beautiful children by this girl, a boy and a girl. What kind of example was you setting? None. Fuck this dude. I tell you, look, he shouldn't get no bond. Shouldn't get no more breath. Honestly, barehanded, you beat a woman to death that was forced to flee from you and divorce you because you couldn't keep your hands to yourself. Instead of caressing her, you would beat on her. I would give people like this no leniency. Fuck that. She's stupid. This is somebody's mom. Mother of your kids. Now your legacy is that your kids are out there in the wilderness being raised by somebody else, going to have lasting effects from this, losing their mother at the hands of their father. Lost a mother from violent crime, can't run the dad. Why? Because he's in jail for doing this shit. Unacceptable. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. May Alicia Stromler rest in peace. Tragic. All the way to the end. If I can't have you, nobody else will. But you ain't worth having nobody, because you yourself is a piece of shit. And if anything, should have punched yourself instead of punching on a woman that was trying to do right by her kids and get away from your stupid ass. See you in the next video. Take care. Oh yeah, and one more thing. Marriage, like any relationship, takes time and takes a lot of sacrifice. Mr. Myron, this woman sacrificed a lot just to even be with you. She was too stupid and blind to see it, and selfish. She gave you her time, gave you her heart, gave you her mind, and gave her your energy, gave you children. None of that was enough. She practically gave her life to you. And I'm sure there are things that the family don't know on the level of viciousness of stuff you did to her. I'm more than sure of it. She did all of that stuff. Years later, that now filing for divorce, and you give her the ultimate death blow when you slowly killed her from jump. Disgraceful. Thanks for listening, y'all.